All right, so you ready to dive deep into Python?
Let's do it.
Today, we're going to be looking at how to make Python talk back to us.
Give us some output.
Exactly. Output. We found a really cool podcast called Code Curious, and they break it down. So even if you've never seen a line of code before.
It'll be able to follow along.
Yeah, so let's just jump right in.
Sounds good.
So what is output anyway?
It's basically how the program communicates with us, right?
Okay.
Instead of just like running silently in the background, it can actually give us information.
So it's like the program talking to us.
Exactly. It's like having a conversation with the computer in a way.
That's pretty cool. And Code Curious starts with this thing called the print function.
Right. The print function is our bread and butter for output in Python.
Okay.
It's like the most basic way to get Python to display something to us.
So how does that actually work?
So you just type print, and then in parentheses, you put whatever you want to display.
Okay.
The classic example is hello world. So you would literally type print, hello world.
Print hello world.
And when you run that code, you'll see those words pop up on your screen.
Oh, okay. So Python sees that and it's like, oh, you want me to say hello world?
Exactly. It's like giving Python a direct command.
Okay, cool. So what if we want to print a whole sentence though?
So that's where things get a little interesting.
Okay.
By default, each print statement adds a new line at the end. So if you try to print multiple things, they'll end up on separate lines.
So is there a way to keep everything on the same line?
There is.
Okay.
We can use something called the end parameter.
End parameter, what is that?
It basically tells the print function what to do after it prints something.
Okay.
So instead of adding a new line, we can tell it to add a space, for example.
So we could like connect words together.
Exactly.
Well, that's cool. Okay, so give me an example.
Sure. So to print hello world,
Yeah.
on one line you would do something like print hello and then another print statement, print world.
Print hello and print world.
You see how we added a space inside the quotation marks after n?
Oh, yeah.
That tells Python to put a space instead of a new line.
So it all stays together.
Exactly.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, what if you wanted to print something like a direct quote?
Yes, with quotation marks inside.
Yeah, wouldn't that confuse Python?
It totally would.
Right.
Because Python uses quotation marks to define the beginning and end of a string.
Yeah.
So if you just stick them in the middle, it'll get all messed up.
So how do we work around that?
Luckily, there are a couple of ways to do this.
Okay.
One way is to use what's called escaping.
Escaping.
Yeah, we use a backslash symbol like this before the quotation mark.
Okay.
So if you want to print, she said hello, you would write print, she said hello.
Print, she said hello. Okay. So the backslash is like a heads up to Python.
Exactly. It's like saying, hey, this quotation mark is part of the text. Don't treat it like code.
Okay, cool. Code Curious also talked about another way to do this right.
They did.
Okay, what was that?
You can also use single quotes to define the string instead of double quotes.
Oh.
So you could write print. She said hello.
Print, she said hello.
And Python will understand that the double quotes inside are part of the text.
Oh, so it's like choosing the right tool for the job.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've printed words, we've printed sentences. What about numbers?
Numbers are easy peasy.
Okay.
You can just print them directly.
Okay, so if I wanted to display the number 42, I would just type print 42.
You got it.
Okay, cool. But what if I wanted to combine text and numbers?
That's where things can get a little tricky again.
Oh,
Python is very particular about data types.
okay.
Text is a string and numbers are whale numbers.
Okay.
And you can't just add them together directly.
So like if I tried to do print, the answer is plus 42, it wouldn't work.
Exactly. You'd get an error.
Oh, why is that?
It's like trying to mix oil and water. They just don't go together naturally.
Huh. Okay, so how do we fix that?
There are a couple of ways Code Curious suggests.
Okay.
One way is to convert the number to a string.
Convert.
Yeah, we basically translate it into the language of text.
Oh.
We can do that using the stry function. So
Right.
you would write print, the answer is, plus stry 42.
Print, the answer is stry plus stry 42. Okay, so we're telling Python, hey, treat this 42 like a word, not a number.
Precisely.
Okay, cool. And what was the other way?
The other way is even cooler. It's called using F strings.
F strings. Okay.
It's super handy. You basically embed the number directly into the string.
Oh.
So you would write print, F the answer
just
is.
print F, the answer is.
Yes,
And that just works.
It just works.
Well, F strings are awesome.
They are right.
Yeah, it's like those fill in the blanks we used to do in elementary school.
Exactly.
Cool. Okay, so we've covered a lot about actually making Python display things.
We have.
But Code Curious also talked about these things called comments.
Yes, comments. They're super important.
Okay.
They're basically notes that we can leave in our code for ourselves or for others.
And Python just ignores them.
It does. Python completely skips over comments.
Okay, so what's the point of them then?
Well, imagine you're writing a really complex program,
Okay.
and you come back to it a few months later.
Yeah.
Comments can help you remember what you were thinking.
So it's like leaving yourself breadcrumbs.
Exactly.
So how do you actually write a
I
comment?
use the hashtag symbol.
Okay.
Anything after the hashtag on that line is considered a comment.
Okay, so it's like a secret message for humans.
Exactly. Python doesn't even see it.
That's cool. I can see how that would be really helpful, especially when you're starting out.
Absolutely. And even for experienced programmers, comments are really important for collaboration.
Oh yeah, so everyone's on the same page.
Exactly.
Well, wow, we covered a lot today. We learned how to make Python display messages.
We tackled those tricky quotation marks.
We figured out how to combine text and numbers.
And we even learned how to leave ourselves helpful notes.
Yeah, that's a lot for one deep dive.
It is, but it's all really important stuff for anyone who wants to learn Python.
Yeah. So if you're feeling inspired to learn more, definitely check out Code Curiouses. They go into even more detail.
And start thinking about what kind of information you would want Python to display for you.
What kind of problems could you solve with output?
The possibilities are pretty much endless.
Yeah. Until next time, keep on coding.
See you then.